My name is Deborah Hughes. I go by Deb. I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio, and I served in the United States Army. In the Army, I was a MOS 31Q, which was a satellite microwave systems operator. I served in Herx, Germany. I served in Ongjongni, Korea, and I served at Fort Huachuca, Arizona. The proudest moment of my service is the fact that I stood up voluntarily because I'm old school and felt that you need to serve your country. And so I did. So that was pretty much my proudest moment. In the Army, I learned that we are a team. There is no I. No matter what in life, it's not just you. With the exception of education. Education is where I feel that that's the only place you should be selfish and just learn as much as possible. But in the Army, what I've learned and what I've taken and have moved in every aspect of my life is we are a team, we are a family, and we must take care of each other. There's one fellow soldier that I was very close with. She was my best friend, my roommate. But unfortunately, I was not very close on a personal level with a lot of my soldiers just because maybe we would have 5, maybe 6 females out of 250 plus soldiers that were men. I'm very proud of my military service. The challenges of a woman being in a field unit is there are very few women and lots of men. And so the MOS that I chose, we lived in the field 3 weeks out of every month. And then January, February, we were in there for 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. So what was difficult and what was challenging is men would go, at least where I was stationed, men would go, I forget the word, unaccompanied with their spouses and families. So they would take off their wedding rings and they would lie if they were married or not married, and you would just kind of haphazardly find out. So the trust really wasn't there with the men. So the challenges were, one, if you didn't date anybody, you were labeled gay. And that created a problem because back when I served, you couldn't be gay. Then you shouldn't be openly gay, excuse me. And then if you dated somebody, you were labeled a slut. So there was that catch 2020, like, well, I don't trust anybody. And unfortunately, again, it was just my experience in where I was stationed in the field that I chose. Many times I was told if I did not give out to my superiors, I would not get promoted. And unfortunately, that was true. I went in as an E3. Situation happened. I did get promoted to an E4. Once I got promoted to an E4, that situation that happened to me a little bit earlier, they knocked me back down to an E3, and I had to work my way back up to an E4. So to me, being a young female going into the service, I absolutely think you should do it. I wholeheartedly believe everybody should serve. I just think that you should be extremely careful and try to get as much information as possible in the field in which you serve. I was in during the Desert Shield, Desert Storm, where there were things that were going on, but it all got brushed underneath. There was a brotherhood called the Masons, at least very dominant or predominant in Germany where I was stationed, and they almost kind of like had their schemes, right? So anything that happened, they just protected each other, and it was always the female's fault. And then the sad part is when we actually got called to war, everybody that was a male got sent overseas. And I was begging, please let me go serve. Please. That's the whole reason I served my country. And they said, no, you can't go, you're female. So it was a tough time, I think, because they didn't think or respect the female, at least in my group, where they felt that we were capable to handle exactly what we were trained to do. And so that was kind of disheartening. I do think it's changed. Thankfully, I have family, nephews and cousins and stuff that are currently in, and they are seeing more and more females. They're seeing more and more females in the fighter jets and going overseas and serving alongside the men. So it is definitely changing. And some of the sexual harassment and things that I was experiencing, it's not as strong or as dominant in their field. I actually wish they allowed us to re-enlist at this age so that we could kind of mentor the young kids. Like, I would love a program like that. When somebody visits my brick and they pop on my name, the first thing I want to tell them is be strong, but most importantly, be them. Serve your country, serve it proud, and if for whatever reason you don't go into the military, which I would highly recommend you do, I would just say serve your country somehow. You don't have to go in and necessarily take the oath, but serve, and serve proudly. What I would like for somebody to know about me personally is through any adversity, any challenge, or anything, I have faced it head on. I have taken some very, very dark days, and instead of staying in those dark days, I've turned it for a positive to mentor others. I have tried to educate others to maybe make different decisions, or maybe research a little bit more what that or how that can impact your life. I would like them to know that no matter what, as long as you try your best, I'm not perfect, I'm not great, but everything that has happened to me has truly made me a better person moving forward, and being able to just pay it forward, so to speak. One of my greatest achievements was to be able to attend and complete PLDC, which is Primary Leadership Development Course. So one of the things that me personally was a significant achievement why I was there was not only that I chose my 2 overseas, like I volunteered to go over to Germany, I volunteered to go over to Korea, was PLDC, which is Primary Leadership class, training, whatever. To become a leader, to become a mentor, and to help those that were, younger or lower class, I guess, lower rank. That was a huge achievement for me just because of the area and everything that I had already been through, knowing that I was not going to make it to the rank of E5. So it was just one of those situations where, yeah, you've been thrown a bag of lemons, but to me, going through that training, telling them that they're not going to stop me, I made it into lemonade. One thing I would like to add, again, is probably reiterating what I've already said, is serve. Serve your community, serve your country, and respect and understand that those that have served their country may be dealing with things that aren't visible to you. So when somebody says they're a vet, or somebody says that they suffer PTSD, or just anything, just have respect. Unless you've went and you have signed that line voluntarily, you have no earthly clue what somebody else has been through. So I would just highly recommend respect, whether you agree with them or disagree with them. But just know that in today's world and age, it is truly voluntary, and somebody stood up to say, I am going to stand for this country and I am going to fight for you. And just, if nothing else, just tell them thanks for their service.